going on, everybody? Welcome into the Thursday, February 6th, 2025 edition of the Daily Energy Newsbeat Stand-Up. Live from Nate, here are today's top headlines. First up, 2-year review exposes Germany's climate policy fog. We're going to stay over in Germany and talk about how they must act immediately to stop deindustrialization according to the union.
Wow.
Next up, making sense of Trump tariffs. What should the EU expect? And then a follow-up story that we talked about on yesterday's show. Zelensky admits Ukraine doesn't control rare earth minerals that Trump wants. That is super interesting. I will then jump over and quickly cover everything in the oil and gas finance space. Prices kind of fell off a cliff today, mainly due to the fact that the EI came out and dropped a crazy report. We talked yesterday about what the guesstimate was. Well, it's a lot worse than we would have expected. I will cover all that and a bag of chips, guys. We are here live from Nate, guest host again, 2 shows in a row.
He's sick of us.
RT Trevino. He's not quite sick of us yet, but he might be.
You know, I'll tell you what a day. Again, being here today, as we said yesterday, the energy is just off the chain. We're actually here on the Nate floor. So shout out to the Energy News Beat. Shout out to Sandstone Media. They're essentially the producer of the Crude, and the things that they're doing is just unbelievable. So you guys out there, the reach that you guys have is literally worldwide. And it's just great to be back. And what, again, a great time to be here in Houston, one of the energy hubs of the world.
All right. Well done. Let's hear for RT, everybody.
Absolutely.
Hey, I'll tell you what. Let's go to this first story here. This really exemplifies all of the bad things about climate change, climate policies. Oh, wait a minute. Quick, who's that over there? It's a polar bear. No, it's Carrie. It's not going to happen. 2-year review exposes Germany's climate policy fog. If you invest in the climate policy issues, what happens?
You go broke.
You go broke, and it's right here. And it is absolutely hysterical, and it is not happening. Let's go to the next story here, and it's really showing that is truly. Germany must now act to stop. The unions are all lined up, and the problem that they're having, Germany must act immediately to stop deindustrialization. The unions are calling for it.
Yep.
Wait a minute. You now have no nuclear. They've had to fire their coal back up, and now we have no natural gas. Rut-row. If Scooby-Doo was an energy policy, Rut-row would actually be on their policies.
You know, I want to say this. This is 2 days in a row that you guys talked about Trump. And I think for your listeners out there, I think it's very key if you guys can explain why exactly we need to be focused on what you're doing and how America can be better at that as they'll continue to focus on these things.
You bet.
It's been a waterfall effect.
So, yeah, well, a lot of it's because Europe's a net importer of energy. And so if they are a net importer of energy, the question is, where are they going to get energy? We talked years ago, or last year, the big topic was Qatar. The Middle East was setting up huge import, export, 30-year agreements with Europe. Right. And now then with Nord Stream that happened last year with the Ukrainian SEALs coming in and taking them out. It's a joke. It was definitely the United States. It was probably U.S. aid. It was probably funded by U.S. aid. But the reason why it's so important is because if Qatar can't quite and all of these Middle Eastern countries either stop supplying or the supply goes dry, the United States can step in. And I think that's what Trump is counting on, and what the United States LNG market is counting on, is that Europe is going to be a huge, huge net importer.
Oh, absolutely. So the IG metal represents 2.2 million workers from sectors including the car, manufacturing, steel, and electronics. And your point is very valid. Why does Germany matter? So goes Germany's economy, so goes the EU. But guess who is imitating Germany? New Jersey, New York, California. All of the green energy policies are following right in line. And so your point is out of the park, huge for this. The union's deputy leader told Euro TV that the EU and incoming government can still stop the job losses. The only way, and you heard this here second, the only way they're going to stop that is if they get low-cost natural gas from Russia.
Yep.
And that is, now, can they get the higher cost LNG from the U.S.? Absolutely. Can we do it at the best possible way? Yes.
Mhm.
The Reese Consulting Group have cradle to grave solution going from LNG all the
Yep.
way to Europe. But can even the Russian natural gas solve their problem? No.
No. All right, let's move to the next one.
Okay.
Well, the next one here, making sense of Trump tariffs. What should you expect from the EU? What should we expect?
Well, they're going to try to ruffle their feathers up and puff up kind of like a little bit of a turkey, going, nope, they're not going to happen. So after Canada, Mexico, and China, the EU could be next in the firing line. Donald Trump says EU tariff could be leveled at the continent anytime soon. And they have not been very nice to trading partners to the United States.
No, they've not.
Now, tariffs are all about bringing it equal again. Do you see many Fords driving around Germany?
No, I don't. We see a lot of, I mean, not that I'm in Europe that often, so I can't really say.
But here's the real thing about that is if there was a way for us to ship things, LNG is the number one export that they're
Yep.
going to want.
I agree. I mean, it really is. In RT, what's your take on this? You know, we talked a little bit about tariffs yesterday. Do you think EU should have a tariff?
Honestly, I feel so bad for the EU right now that no, they're at a point, guys, and I mean that. I'm not trying to be funny, but again, going back to the policies that they made, not in 40 years, not in 50 years, in the last 15 years or less. That union, the European Union, which, hey, great idea. I understand it. Single coin, the nomination, easier. Get it. They have ruined the Europe.
You bet.
These policies of getting rid of neutral, getting rid of things, and they are becoming close to a third world country to where it's not fair to put these tariffs on. Now, that being said,
It's not fair.
you got to pay for your freaking decisions.
Yep.
And sometimes they're financial.
Yep.
So, so yes, I understand them. I do think they probably,
I think you're spot on. And I think that the EU will fail under their current policy path right now. We're also looking at NATO failing. So when you take a look at NATO failing and the EU failing, this is absolutely huge. And President Trump said the other day, he's going to start talking to countries individually and not even talk to the EU. Holy smokes, Batman.
look at it this way. When you want to do a deal, what's a lot easier to get a deal done? Have 30 people in a room or have the one decision maker?
The one decision maker, absolutely.
You bet.
All right, let's move to the next one.
Hey, Zelensky admits Ukraine doesn't control rare earth minerals. You know what? That guy is absolutely he's quite an actor. Have you seen some of his early acting?
I haven't gotten around to watching
Oh
the
my
actor.
goodness. He is a Fruit
Zelensky.
Loop. Okay, but rare earth minerals, 17 elements valued for their magnetic and electrochemical properties are used for smartphones, EVs. Last week, Trump suspended all USA aid programs and USA agency fund projects through humanitarian aids. This is a quote. "We have enough rare earth minerals, but Russia has our occupied land since 2014, Zelensky said on Tuesday in Kyiv, responding to Trump. "We're open to them being developed by our partners who help us defend the land, push back the enemy with their weapons and presence and sanctions. And this is absolutely fair." It is not going to happen. President Putin, again, has now what he is going to keep. He is going to keep the land bridge of Crimea that he took under the Obama administration. Why did he take that land bridge? It's about choke points. It's about land, air, sea power. And he's now got the pipeline control coming in from Turkstream, the Baltic, and everything else. It's about low-cost natural gas.
Yep.
It's about, now he has 8 sub-bases and other water ports. There's no way he's giving that land up. He's going to keep that land. Now,
Oh, absolutely. I think the real question is this quote that he talked about, which was, "We have enough rare earth minerals, but Russia has occupied our land since 2014. What? I thought it was just since the invasion. What's he talking about, 2014?
that was when he took Crimea.
Those earth minerals aren't just in Crimea. They're everywhere.
He's playing the.
No, I know he is. It's so obvious to see. If I can see it, everyone can see
You
it.
look at it.
I wish that if you can see it now, granted, okay, let's talk about you. I don't know how much they talk about you on this show, but you've got an undergrad you've got an MS. Okay, you're not, you're very slowed down. All right. Me, on the other hand, so he's playing his games. Kind of like what we talked about yesterday.
Right.
This game is being played, and now his long-term goal.
Oh, interesting.
Right. It's like, hey man, you know what? Sacrifice this 20 cool team, right? And the whole goal here is you look at this entire region. This entire region used to be part of what? In 1988, like less than 40 years ago. What was all that? USSR.
SR.
And what was President Clinton? One of the best
team members. Yeah.
Okay. I love talking about like all the, all these like things that could go on with the U.S.
Yep.
There, right? And waking up the great there. But what Zelensky's really trying to do, in my opinion, right now, is say, hey, you want control of these? You're going to have to come over here and basically physically get involved in a war and come take them. But based off yesterday with the Gaza Strip, you don't want the Trumper to come over here.
No. I did not have Gaza Lago on my bingo card. Gaza Lago.
Trump. We see him.
I never thought that President Trump, and then when you saw him interviewing Netanyahu's head was spinning around on that one.
Absolutely.
I did not see that one coming, dude.
No, it's pretty crazy.
But it sets the example and it sets the tone being back to the Ukraine thing. It's like, all right, we'll come in. And I mean, it's like,
there's no way President Trump is going to go fight for. No, he's got Greenland sitting there. And then Germany has even announced yesterday that they're willing to go to Greenland and defend it against the United States. Germany, you got to protect your jobs first. Don't be going to Greenland. We're going to go get the rare earth minerals. We will do it responsibly.
Yeah, no, and that's one thing we talk about in the show all the time, that if you're gonna exploit natural resources, you'd rather the United States do it because we do it the cleanest and the most efficient of the whole world.
Absolutely. Mike, with everything going on with, we mentioned what President Trump is doing right now, what Ukraine's trying to do, where the market's at.
Well, we will get to that, but before we do that, we got to pay the bills. As always, thank you for checking us out here on the world's greatest website, .energynewsbeat.com, the best place for all your energy and oil and gas news. Stu and the team do a tremendous job keeping that website up to speed. Everything you need to know to be at the tip of the spear when it comes to the energy and the oil and gas business. We'd also like to shout out sponsor of the show, Reese Energy Consulting. We mentioned them a little bit during the show, but if you're in the oil and gas business, you are you're not making as much in your netbacks as you think, because you're not using Reach Energy Consulting to go contact your natural gas midstream companies, not go contact your oil first purchasers and say, hey, we're leaving money on the table, give us a better deal. They're going to come in, they're going to completely redo the way you get paid. We love working with them. They're an awesome company, guys. They're actually here at NAPE. So go check out that. If you're walking around listening to this, go check out them at their booth. They're going to do everything. As Stu says, they'll take you on a large LNG project, Cradle of the Grave. We love Regenerate Consulting. Also, guys, hit that description below for all links to the timestamps, links to the articles. Check us out on Substack, theenergynewsbeat.substack.com. Best way to support the show, if you are so inclined, to go ahead and give us a paid subscription. We would really appreciate that. Thank you to all our current paid subscribers. You guys are the reason we're able to come down here to NAPE and do this. So we really appreciate that. And guys, we're here at NAPE. If you have been watching Landman and you're like, how do I become Billy Bob Thornton? How do I get into the oil business? Guys, I promise you, go to investinoil.energynewsbeat.com. We will show you exactly how to do that. And on top of becoming Billy Bob Thornton from Landman, here's what you're going to be able to do. You're also going to get a sweet tax deduction, both active and passive income. You're going to be able to have some sweet dividends. And again, you're going to get to show up to parties and say, guess what? I'm an oil man. I mean, if it doesn't get better than that, I don't know what it is. We have a bunch of resources if you want to get involved in the oil and gas business. Go ahead and go to investinoil.energynewsbeat.com. You want to jump in?
We have a fact check at NAPE. He is true. My investment there is 32%.
And it's true. We've done great on our investments. RT's done even better on his investments. So trust me, guys.
If I may, and thank you for that. Yeah. What is that? Invest at what?
Investinoil.energynewsbeat.com.
Oh my gosh. You can tell you and I do not. And thank you also again so much for letting me do this. But you mentioned NAPE and Landman. That I just want to let everybody know that NAPE is in partner with the AAPL, which is the American Association of Petroleum Landman. And for that show on Paramount, let's say that one time only, because they don't support plots of this show. So does support my show and sponsor it, that they've actually had their hand in making sure that at least 10% of the content in that show land. What a great show, but a lot of it has been shot here in the great state of Texas as well, if not in the fancy Hollywood. But yes, no, if you haven't checked out the show, Landman, Expo, and AAPL have also had their hand in getting that.
So you've never been held up by the cartel?
No.
Not yet, at least. Not yet, at least.
Well, yeah. Have you paid taxes?
All right, guys. Let's quickly check in here on the markets. S&P 500 and Nasdaq both basically flat today, up about 1/10 of a percentage point on both of those indices. 2 and 10-year yields. Holy smokes, got hammered. 2-year yields down 1 full percentage point. 10-year yields down 2.3 percentage point. Outlook on the market's not great. Dollar index was down about 0.5 percentage point. We have seen Bitcoin fall another 1.2 percentage points to 96,627. Crude oil 2 percentage points wiped off the indice, currently trading at 71, down about $1.63 from yesterday. Brent only got hit about 0.5 percentage point, down about 30 cents or 0.5 percentage point. Natural gas spiked about 1.5 percentage points, $3.33. And our XOP, which is our EMP securities contract, actually traded fairly flat today, only down about 0.07 percentage points, 137.07. And the big news of the day is that the EIA crude oil inventory report came out and absolutely hammered. So yesterday we ran about a 5.3 million barrel build estimate by the API. Well, the EIA a little bit ago came out and said, nope, it was actually 8.7. So a net of about 3 million barrels over the estimate. And again, that's what you guys need to look at. It's not necessarily what the numbers are. It's where the numbers are relative to both expectations when the API drops its numbers on Tuesday, but then also the spread between what the API thinks and what the EIA drops. So big crude, big drop there. Also with the tariffs being dropped from Canada, we are kind of shaking some of that out. So that's really what's moving markets today. Otherwise, things have been pretty quiet on the M&A front. I think a lot of people are gearing up till after earnings season to make a big move, especially being so close to earnings season. I think we're seeing a little bit of that kilter off. I do think during the summer we'll see things kick back up, especially if we see prices drop a little bit more, especially if we see $65 oil. I think you might start seeing a few more deals get made at some of those lower price decks. But all really, as I like to say, all quiet on the Western Front today. Everyone's gearing up for NAPE. Even the markets are taking it into account. What am I missing, guys?
Oh, I think we're I mean, if you are not ready for a roller coaster, holy smokes, you got Pam Bondi, you got everybody. Looks like Tulsi Gabbard's coming out of the thing, and she's going to get. I tell you what, we are buckling up, and I did not again have Gazalago on my thing. Who knows what's going to happen here, man?
Guys, again, thanks for letting me do this again. It was real fun. And again, if you haven't ever checked out the Expo, this is what happened. Thank you guys very much for having us back this year, second year in a row. So this is, I guess, turning to an annual thing. Well, how fun. We're right here. Just come on in and to the right. And you'll be able to sit here, and I'll do a quick shameless plug. We'll both be doing shows of the cruise service is lined up for some great interviews.
Absolutely.
Yeah, you guys are just ready to go as well. And well, thank you guys. Well, thank y'all.
Absolutely, guys. For Ray Trevino, Stuart Turley, I'm Michael Tanner. Guys, we will see you tomorrow at the NAPE Expo.